Have you ever heard the phrases, earners are learners, or readers are leaders? Look, there's a lot of truth to that, okay? People who are driven often have an intense desire for knowledge. We want to maximize every opportunity to grow as human beings and to do more and to be more and to earn more than ever before. And maybe you've even heard that the difference between you and the you from 5 years from now are the people you hang out with and the books you read. So what books should you read if you want to succeed in real estate and in money and to make maximum returns from your rental properties? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5, count them, 5 books that'll be the biggest game changers you can imagine. Let's go. Okay, my friends, look, I don't want you to freak out because you're like, I don't want to read. I don't have time to read. Reading is boring. Look, you can listen to these. You can read them. You could go online and get cliff notes and then pretend like you read them just like you did in high school. It's fine, but the first book that I want you to read and that you need to have on your shelf or that you need to have in your ears, and one that is probably the #1 book in all of history that you are gonna wanna read. And this is one that almost everybody, if they have had any success whatsoever, if they've made any kind of money whatsoever, that's why it's my #1 on the list, and it's right here, Think and Grow Rich. Now, if you've never heard of Think and Grow Rich, you are about to have your life blown wide open in the best possible way. Napoleon Hill is the author of Think and Grow Rich, and even just the creation of the book alone is exceptional. So Napoleon Hill was tasked by a billionaire to go and interview the wealthiest people on the planet and to try to boil down what they do into a handful of steps so that anybody could generate wealth. So imagine being able to be tutored by the most successful people in all of history. Napoleon Hill did exactly that, and he boils it down to a handful of steps. I think there's like 13 points, if I remember right, that will change your life. And here's what I want you to know, that just in the title, the name alone, Think and Grow Rich, the power that you have to create wealth in real estate or in life is largely going to come down to what's going on right here, but you need to have a framework, and Think and Grow Rich does that. You are gonna love that book. It's gonna be a game changer for you. It's been around for like more than 100 years, okay? This thing is not going anywhere. Now, the second book that has also been here for more than 100 years is another book about getting rich, and it's this one right here. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. This is from Wallace Wattles. Now, first time I heard about this book, do you remember there was this book is not making the list, I'm just gonna reference a book, but do you remember when there was a really popular book and everybody wanted to read it? There was a movie and there was all these videos called The Secret. At the beginning of the book, there's a quote from The Science of Getting Rich, and it's about how we can utilize power in order to get rich. And the science of getting rich, while it is a science, it is much like Napoleon Hill states in Think and Grow Rich, which it does come down to some aspect of what goes on here. And one of the concepts that I got from The Science of Getting Rich, which I think is really germane to this conversation and to you and me, is that wealth and money is an infinite increasing pie. Now, here's what I mean by that. A lot of people think that money, wealth, real estate, it's a zero-sum game, right? Which means if I win, you lose. That's what a lot of people think. However, I'm here to tell you right now that there is more to this game than I win and you lose. And in The Science of Getting Rich, he articulates why that is. And he articulates things like the fact that being in competition with somebody, that can be healthy, but wanting their demise as opposed to both of you to succeed together can actually affect you negatively from being successful. It is about how you can think about others, how you can think about the world, how you can think about wealth in a way that can quite literally generate more for you and from your real estate than you ever thought possible. I'm telling you right now, we could stop the video, but we're not, because I've got other books that you're really gonna wanna hear about. But I'm telling you, if all you did was read Think and Grow Rich and The Science of Getting Rich, the shift that you would have in your life would be monumental. Now, the third book that I'm gonna share with you, this is one that almost everybody credits as why they got interested in real estate in the first place. It is this book right here. It is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, you probably heard about this book. Robert Kiyosaki wrote this bad boy, and in it, he talks about getting out of the rat race. He talks about the fact that he's got this rich dad and he's got this poor dad, but his poor dad was his biological father, but his biological father still made a 6-figure income. But he calls his dad poor because what his dad would do is what most of us do, which is when we make more money, we spend more money, and then we have less to show for it. Even though we're working hard and we're making more money, we're spending more money, right? It's like when you get a bonus at work and then you just like go spend it on, I don't know, Jordans. Who wouldn't want to do that? But you know what I'm talking about? Instead of investing it and trying to do something to create more wealth in the future. And so rich dad, poor dad, he had this poor dad who was actually his real biological father who did make good money, but never had much to show for it. Who believed that all you do is you go to school and you get a job and you go to work and then you make enough and you live the American dream. Then he had his rich dad. His rich dad was a really close family friend who owned a ton of real estate in the state of Hawaii. And rich dad, he had done something really magnificent. Rich dad had replaced his income. Rich dad moved from the idea of having liabilities to the idea of having assets. And rich dad used real estate as a way to generate assets and get away from liabilities so that you could actually have wealth that's flowing into your life so you could get out of the rat race of the 9 to 5, of working constantly, of trying to make it work, and you could actually have money flowing into your life as opposed to you trading time for money. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an incredible book. Almost everybody that gets started in real estate says, if you ask them, hey, what got you started in real estate? They'll credit Rich Dad, Poor Dad as that book. Now, before I give you the last couple books, and you're gonna wanna hear these because they're really awesome, I wanna assure you that they are not what you think, okay? These last 2 books, these are not books that maybe you've even heard of, but I guarantee they will be massive game changers for you. Like guarantee 100% without a doubt. But what I wanna say before we get there is I just wanna say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this channel, because this channel is all about showing you the tips and the tricks for getting started in real estate investing. And we wanna help you win. We wanna help you make millions in real estate. So what we get to do here is we get to share videos about how to replace your income, how to create generational wealth for you and your family. So if you wanna find the best way to do real estate, the best deals to go get, the best properties to buy, the best way to generate income in real estate, then this channel is for you. If you want a different approach to real estate, if you want to have the mindset that's going to allow you to be successful, then this channel is for you. Look, I am not here to like fluff your feathers and say, it's gonna be great, sweetie, everything's gonna work out wonderfully. What I'm here to do is talk to you and give you truth about what it really takes to succeed in real estate, what it really means to go and be successful, so you can actually change your life in the present and in the future. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with friends and family, because there's gonna be so much good stuff coming your way. You are not gonna want to miss a second of it. So make sure you subscribe so you can watch all of this goodness and come back and hang out with me. You know you want to. Now let's get back to the video. The last 2 books I'm gonna share with you are game changers, like game changers, okay? At the time I'm recording this video is not technically available for purchase. However, it will be very soon because it's our book. And I know what you're saying, Kevin, that seems a little selfish. Why would you declare one of your books? The reason is we have distilled 15 years of growing a company, of having a company, of helping tons of people. And we've distilled all that information down to a handful of principles and a set of ideas that if you would have those in your life, it will be a game changer for you. Our book is called Micro Wins to Millions. And the whole book is about how do you play Moneyball real estate? How do you go hit singles? How do you stack micro wins? And how do you celebrate those micro wins as you go? Because one of the things we often don't realize is even in real estate, there's so many victories that we have as we go. Right now, a lot of times we love to focus on that which is negative, right? And when we focus on that which is negative, we will attract more of what is negative, by the way. But what the deal is if we have real estate and something doesn't go well, the tenant bugs out, we're not making as much as we want, the interest is higher than we thought, and all we focus on is the deficit, or what we perceive where we should be versus where we are, and we focus on that gap constantly and perpetually, we will find ourselves less motivated to move forward. It's kind of one of the things we talk about in the book is stop focusing on the scoreboard. So many of us are so focused on what it's gonna mean one day to have that money, or to have that car, or to have that boat, or to have that house, and we're looking at everybody else that has the car and has the boat and has the house, and we're looking at them and seeing where we are, and we don't use that as a motivator, even though we think we use it as a motivator. Reality is most of us, when we perceive that on the scoreboard and we assume they've scored better than we have, We perceive our deficit and it interrupts our ability to be able to create and move forward. And in Micro Wins to Millions, we explore that concept. We talk about the magical money machine that is real estate and how money comes in and money goes out. We talk about how the numbers work. We talk about how we find markets. We talk about how we go and get deals and how we find purchase-worthy properties. It is everything that you could ever possibly need to have the precise and definitive plan for how to get from where you are today to where you're trying to go. So the fourth book that is a game changer is called Micro Wins to Millions, and it's by me and my partner, Steve Earl. Now, here's the fifth book. This one, again, may seem self-serving, but I guarantee you it will change your life. The fifth book is a book called Flip the Gratitude Switch. Now, Flip the Gratitude Switch is a book that I wrote 6 years ago, but I started it 2 years before that. It took me 2 years to write that book. And here's one of the things that I learned. As we've been growing our company, as we've been growing our real estate portfolios, I found that time and time again, we find a life that we are in and we are dissatisfied with the life that we are in. And coming from a place of dissatisfaction, kind of like what I talked about with Micro Wins to Millions, it is very difficult to create something new. But what if there was a way to find gratitude in the frustration? What if there was a way to be thankful in the middle of the hardest, most difficult trials of your life? What if there was a way that when real estate doesn't go as planned, you could find that kernel of success embedded in the perceived failure? And what if you could be thankful and actually use gratitude? See, gratitude is not a touchy-feely emotional thingy. Gratitude is not something you feel, it's something that you do. Gratitude is an active verb. And I will tell you, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, that the single greatest thing that we've done as a company to grow our company has been to be thankful for the opportunities and to leverage that gratitude into something bigger. Because when you plant a seed of gratitude and you water it with more, it always grows and it always sprouts. But sometimes it's difficult to find that kernel and to find that seed. But I promise you that in the middle of every frustration, in the middle of every difficulty, there is a kernel of awesome. There is something that you can acknowledge, that you can see, that you can nourish, and that will grow. And that growth can come from the perpetual gratitude that you choose to do inside of the experience that otherwise you may not realize has gratitude embedded in it, and it changes everything for you. This book has literally saved lives. It saved my financial life. Maybe sometime I'll tell you the whole story. But for this video, just know there's so much to this book and this journey. And I guarantee you with every fiber of my being that it would change your life too. So there you have it, my friends, the 5 books that I believe are the single most important books in history to help you grow wealth in real estate and in life. What if you're ready to get into real estate? What if you're ready to start to get properties and start to make a change financially? Well, listen, investing in single-family rentals is one of the smartest things you could do to combat inflation, to beat the stock market, to save on taxes. And now there's a new way to invest in them without having to visit a single property. DFY-realestate.com is where you want to go. And we offer investments that are managed by professionals so you can sit back and relax while your money works for you. Plus, our properties are chosen specifically for their ROI, specifically for their potential, specifically for where they are, and generate millions. So if you're ready to learn more about how DFY-realestate.com can help you, or how Done For You Real Estate can help you invest in real estate, click the link below. Click it, it's in the description. Go set up a call, let's talk together. And here's the cool thing. If you ever work with Done For You Real Estate, I'll send you a copy of my book for free anyway. Isn't that good? So jump on a call, go click the link in the description below, and you are gonna have your life begin to shift the second that you do. Talk to you soon.